In this video, we're going to talk about how I deal with IP claims and counterfeit claims in my eBay to Amazon FBA store. This is also going to be helpful if you do retail or online arbitrage just in general, because we're going to talk a lot about the information about these claims and where Amazon is coming from with these claims. And so this is going to be really important information in order to actually help you run your Amazon FBA store while being educated on these things. So first of all, what are these claims? There are two main types of claims. There are IP claims and there are counterfeit claims. So an IP claim you will get when a brand does not want you selling the item that you are selling. What happens with this is you will get a notice in your Amazon FBA dashboard under the account health dashboard, and this will be under received intellectual property complaints. You get to this by going to your performance tab in Seller Central and then going to account health. And so if you got a letter in the mail or an email or a message in Seller Central, these actually aren't counterfeit claims. These are potential warnings of you maybe getting a counterfeit claim. These aren't actual claims. When you actually have one, it's going to actually show up in your dashboard in your Seller Central. And next is counterfeit claims. You'll get a counterfeit claim when either the brand or a customer thinks that your item is counterfeit. And also, again, you're going to get a counterfeit claim only when it actually shows up in your account health dashboard. If it's a letter or an email, it's not actually a counterfeit claim. This just might be a warning or a competitor sending you a letter to scare you off the listing. You'll actually have it show up in your account dashboard. So the question from here is, why is this even a part of selling on Amazon? There are two aspects of Amazon that are really helpful to understand when it comes to this topic. The first is that Amazon states in their terms of service that we agree to when we agree to sell with them, that we are required to have a brand authorization and invoice for every single item that we sell. And then number two, Amazon states in their terms that if specific terms are broken, that they reserve the right to seize your inventory and not send that inventory back to you. And they justify it by saying that if it's proven to be counterfeit, then we don't want that inventory in circulation. So with these two things in mind, it makes sense that Amazon would have some metrics around measuring how well sellers are adhering to these policies. And so the question becomes, how do we actually get these claims removed if we do get these claims on our account? So if you are working with the brand and you do have an invoice from the brand and authorization from the brand letting them know that you are allowed to sell this item, then you just upload that invoice to Amazon and Amazon will usually eventually remove it. But what if you purchased the book from a thrift store, or you got it from TJ Maxx, or you purchased it from eBay to Amazon and you don't actually have a receipt from the brand? So the sad and honest truth is that Amazon rarely is going to accept these types of receipts that aren't from the brand or from an authorized distributor of the brand. And so as a result, if you get a claim where you don't have a receipt from a brand or an authorized distributor, most likely you're going to have to just let that claim sit for 180 days and fall off your account at that point. And then it'll be off your account. And so most likely, since it's not going to be able to be removed, you're going to have to just wait the 180 days for it to fall off of your account. So thankfully, it's not going to be there forever, but it will be on there for 6 months, unfortunately. Not a fun situation. I'm sorry if you're there. I've had claims as well in the past, and unfortunately, most of the time I just have to let them fall off within 180 days. So with all this in mind, how do I deal with IP claims and counterfeit claims while doing eBay to Amazon? So I see it in a very similar way to thrifting books or other items from a thrift store. None of these items are actually going to have itemized receipts from an authorized distributor of the brand. So that begs the question, there's thousands and thousands of booksellers who sell lots of books every single month. And how are they able to do this? The reason they're able to do this is because they sell a large number of books with a low amount of customer issues. Like for example, there are plenty of booksellers that I know that sell over 500 books a month and they hardly ever get claims. Like maybe they'll get one claim a year and then they just let that fall off their account. None of the items that they have receipts from a brand. Some of them literally process gaylords of books where there's no receipt at all. Or they get them from thrift stores or libraries or free book pickups. They sell a lot of items with low customer issues. So this brings up probably the main point of this video. Amazon wants to work with sellers who make them a lot of money, aka make a lot of sales, and also give a really good customer experience and stay out of the way of brands. Amazon is all about how can they make the most money and give a good customer experience. If we can do that for Amazon while also giving a good customer experience and brands not being angry with us, then that's a win for them and they want you on the platform. And so I feel like it's a similar story when it comes to eBay to Amazon. I have a friend, for example, who sells over 5,000 units a year and has only ever gotten one claim. I also have another friend who does around 10,000 units a year and usually has at least several claims on his account, and he doesn't end up getting shut down. I also have another friend who sold 700,000 in sales from January to September, all eBay to Amazon, and he's never gotten a claim on his account. So the two basic points of this is that claims are usually going to be really rare, and that the volume of how many items you sell really does matter. And so the account health game in this business model is actually doing a high volume of orders where customers are happy and the brand is not angry with you. And so you can lower your return rate and you can stay away from listings where the brand is also selling on the listing. And so there's a couple takeaways to this whole discussion that I implement in my business. I believe the chances of an actual suspension is really, really small, but I still take steps to make sure that I'm never investing what I'm willing to lose. I also make sure to pay myself along the way and make sure that I have savings outside of Amazon. That's just the responsible thing to do in all business endeavors. And so in conclusion, the main takeaways of this video are that we're playing in Amazon sandbox. This is their platform, they make the rules, but at the same time, they are wanting to make money. And they're wanting to build their brand the most that they can. And so the more sales that we can do and the more happy customers that we can have and the more that we stay out of the way of brands, the better. So what we can do is that we can lower our risk of claims by making sure we have happy customers that are getting what they ordered and they have no reason to send us a counterfeit claim because they're just happy with their item. And we can also stay away from listings where the brand is on the listing unless we feel like we want to be risky. And then the biggest thing here, just don't risk everything. Make sure that your entire life savings aren't in Amazon. This is their platform, and if there's a rule that they can seize your inventory, maybe don't put your entire life savings into it. And then finally, the last point is to just not risk it all. Make sure you have savings outside of Amazon. Make sure you're paying yourself, and make sure that you're doing this in a sustainable, safe way so that you can do this for a long time. And also just a very quick practical tip on how to make sure that you're not selling on a listing where the brand is on it. When you're on the listing on Amazon, just check and see who's in the buy box and check the stack of sellers to see who's actually selling the item. If you see someone with a store name of the brand that you're selling, maybe that's a red flag that you should stay away from it, or at least say that that's a riskier brand to sell. But if this video was helpful for you, feel free to help me out by subscribing. If you have any other questions, send me a message on Instagram and let me know what videos you want to see in the future. Hope you have a great rest of the day and take care.